launches its latest scheme to help people through the coronavirus outbreak. Nina is here to explain and has details.
Yeah, it's been quite a stressful time for lots of self-employed people because the definition of how they earn their money is so variable, isn't it? Good morning. Yeah, alongside the furlough scheme, we've heard lots about the separate programme for people who are self-employed. Now, this is a really diverse group and it includes everybody from taxi drivers and builders to cake makers and musicians. And to date, 2.7 million of these workers have made claims totalling £7.8 billion. The first grant for 3 months gave self-employed people 80% of their average monthly profits, capped at £7,500. And today, applications have opened for the second and final payment for the scheme, with 70% of monthly profits with a £6,500 cap. Now, this whole scheme is managed by HMRC, and Angela MacDonald is its Deputy Chief Executive. A very good morning to you, Angela. The scheme went live at 6 o'clock. So far, so good this morning.
Yes, good morning. And actually, we're doing really well so far this morning. 39,000 people have already successfully made their claims. So a fantastic start through our digital services.
Some people have been in touch with us who are self-employed. They have to be invited to apply for this scheme. That hasn't happened yet. When can they expect to hear from you?
So we are trying very hard to contact all of those people who are eligible in order to help them to understand when they can make their claim. Our claims window is initially open for a 4-day period. But if somebody thinks that they are eligible and yet they haven't been contacted by us, they can go onto the online system. It will tell them if they're eligible and when it is that they can make their claim. But people shouldn't worry about needing to do everything too much in a rush. If you don't manage it in those first 4 days, the claim system is actually open until the 19th of October. So therefore, everybody's got the time to do things that suit their working situation at the moment.
OK, so if you've not gone to them, they can come to you. That's good to know. Some concern that 16,000 people were overpaid in the first round, weren't they, to the tune of £12 million in total from the Treasury. That will leave people concerned, especially because you said you're not going to recoup that money.
Being realistic, I recognise that 16,000 people can sound quite a lot, but out of 2.7 million people, it's actually 0.6% of the overall population. You can imagine we did it at immense pace. There is an enormous amount of complex data involved in setting the schemes up. But the most important thing of what you said there is people shouldn't be worried. We are not going to be asking for that money back. We recognise that that was our problem as we put the scheme into live at such speed. So hopefully that reassures those people.
Lessons learned, though, it won't be happening this time?
Most definitely. We have had a little more time to look at the data records of all of those eligible customers. So we are very confident that this time round we will be getting it right for 100% of the customers.
100%, that's a good promise. Now, another criticism of the scheme is that it's wide open to exploitation, as with the furlough scheme. This is dependent on people telling you the truth and saying, yeah, we've been affected by coronavirus, but as yet, you haven't been following up on evidence necessarily. What would you say to that?
So we absolutely recognise that in any kind of situation, there will be a very, very small number of people who seek to take advantage of things that they are not entitled to. We are taking reports of any kind of fraud extremely seriously. On the wage retention scheme, we have already started taking criminal action for people who we know are committing fraud there on furloughed members of their staff. So we absolutely will be following up on all reports of fraud.
What would you say to someone who said it will be too easy for someone whose business hasn't been affected by coronavirus to say that it has?
Yeah, as I say, I absolutely accept that that might be some people, that might be some people who do that, but we will be using all of the data and the records that we have in order to be able to validate our view of what it is that those people have actually been doing and trading through this period.
OK, our inboxes have been filled with people who've been left out of the scheme. You'll know about them, those paid by dividends, those who earn over £50,000. Is it fair that when they've paid tax for many years, they feel like they're left out now at a time when they need this money most?
Yes, I absolutely can understand the difficulties that those people will find themselves in. The Chancellor has already acknowledged that these schemes will not be able to help everybody, but that can be it's easy to say, but very hard for those individuals concerned. There is a broad package of support available, looking at things like mortgage holidays, looking at loans. We are also been deferring taxes for the self-employed. So I would really urge anybody who is got difficulties to look online and see what broad support is available for them.
Okay, Angela, many thanks. And that mirrors actually what the Treasury told us about this scheme. Thank you to those who've been in touch this morning. Another Angela in Boston Spa. She's successfully got her payment through already. Paul, though, in Scunthorpe says that he's accessed his second grant, but he is really worried, as lots of people are, that this scheme wraps up now. This is the second and final lump of money that the self-employed will get. And a bit like the furlough scheme, that is it then. The Treasury have said that's the end of it. So as we keep saying, don't we, the autumn is when things will get really worrying for some people.
Nina, thank you very much. Thank you also for all the everybody who's been in touch about A-level grades, results, and we know that GCSE is also this week. So much concern out there. Thank you so much.